everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually building kind of like a cottage, and let me just tell you, I am actually rendering this whole video for the second time. So I'm also recording this whole voiceover face cam for the second time because somehow like some part of the footage was corrupted for some reason. I couldn't figure it out, so yeah, fun times. Anyway, so I'm building this cottage. It's kind of more like a converted barn kind of thing. I was actually attempting to build kind of like my dream home, which, well, this isn't it. Like, it's not that at all. It's just like a somewhat of a cottage, which, yeah, I guess it's kind of like a converted barn turned into a cottage kind of thing. You will see what I'm talking about in a second. I am building this in Henford on Bagley, and I'm building this on the is it a 20 by 30 lot? I think so. Like the one way on top where the waterfall is. And I chose this lot because I was going for my dream home. And if I had to choose like any lot in the Sims world, of all the worlds that we have, it would be this one for sure. Like if I would have to choose to live somewhere in The Sims, this would be the lot, because it's just, I don't know, it's just so beautiful. It's so like all the nature around it, and the waterfall, like living right next to a waterfall, and then you have bunnies and foxes and everything. So I just love it. It's just so beautiful. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing actually. So I am working on this converted barn kind of thing. And I was inspired by actually two pictures that I saw on Pinterest, and I will pop them up on screen right now. So one of them, the first one is kind of just like a, well, it's actually not really a cottage. I'm kind of always a little bit confused about this because I don't actually really know like what exactly is like a cottage. I guess like typically would more like be these typical, especially in Henford on Bagley, these typical like English old cottage buildings, which this is not at all. It's just a more, I guess, traditional looking house. But yeah, I just kind of call every house that's kind of cute a cottage. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I was going for that one on the right side, and then on the left side, that's where the other picture came in, which was just like one part of this house where it has like this walkthrough, which is arched. And I just found that so beautiful, and I definitely wanted to include that in some way into my build. And I was trying to find something, I was initially like going for an actual arch that is arched, like that is round, but we don't really have ones that are quite big enough. I wanted there to be quite of a large opening. So I did end up, I think I used one of the industrial loft kit doors just to make an opening into the wall, and then I just sized that down with tool to I think 0.001 so that you just can't see it anymore at all. And then I just added these, I don't know, they are kind of arches too, I guess. They're from Debug. So I added those, and just a bunch of them like behind each other or in front of each other. And yeah, so it kind of looks like there's just a walk through this converted barn, which is what the left side of the building is supposed to be. That's what I had in mind anyway. So yeah, my idea was there was this old barn, and then they kind of built a more of a modern kind of house onto it, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's what I was going for. Unfortunately, the Sims can't walk through the walkthrough, like through the passage through the barn, because I'm pretty sure it's because the item that I used from Debug has a large footprint. So yeah, it makes sense that I can't just walk through there. But I mean, you can always pretend that they're just walking through there, and yeah, I guess. Anyway, so I did end up manipulating the roof a little bit, because like the originals didn't have roofing like that. They just had like, I'm pretty sure they just had like a normal, like, how do you say that? Like triangular roof. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't really like that for this build. I mean, I don't typically like that for any build. I definitely prefer like some roof manipulation, but in this case, I kind of felt like it made sense. So yeah, that's what I did. Now we're already on to the interior, which this is the living room. It's actually quite interesting that I'm starting with the living room because I never normally do that. I always start with the kitchen, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, this is the living room, and the interior, like in general, that's definitely more of a, yeah, something that I could consider like my dream kind of home interior. It's not quite that, but I do love that it's just very, very cozy, and it has this kind of bohemian, very eclectic kind of style in furniture. Like everything is kind of like mix and match, which I love. And yeah, there's a bunch of colors, but still it's not overwhelmingly colorful for me anyway. And the rooms are fairly small, which I love. Like I think smaller rooms just make a home very cozy and kind of comfy and give it like this homey kind of feel to it. I feel that way anyway. So yeah, definitely I love the interior. I used a lot of the high school, what's the pack called? High School Days. What's that called? Well, the high school pack. Okay, so I used a lot of those items. I feel like especially the couches, the chairs, the beds that we got, they are very like bohemian kind of looking. I mean, we did get some others like more of a school kind of vibe furniture. But I don't know, like a lot of them are very like boho kind of style, in my opinion. Or at least like they have this, yeah, no, I would say it's kind of boho. Anyway, I love that we got those items because I just absolutely adore them and I use them kind of everywhere throughout this house. So yeah, so I think that's basically it for the living room. I did end up like using a lot of clutter. Obviously, I used a lot of paintings or pictures on the walls because that's, yeah, as I said, I was kind of going for like my own kind of specific style, and I just love having a bunch of paintings and pictures on the wall. I just think I don't know, there's just something about like some gallery walls. I think it just yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely more for like having a lot of paintings on the wall instead of painting the actual wall a certain color. That's definitely more like my thing. Whatever. So we're in the kitchen now. I used these counters. I'm pretty sure I will change the color to green, I think. Yeah, I'm doing it now. Because I felt like I was going for this teal kind of color because I just love it, and I wanted there, like in the kitchen, I didn't want everything to be green because I have green windows. We have the wallpaper from Cottage Living, which has like the green wood on the bottom. But the teal kind of didn't really go very well, so I just changed it. And then I used the table from Werewolves, which I love. I kind of love almost every item that we got with the Werewolves pack. I think they are absolutely amazing because I also use the wallpaper, like the, I don't know what these wallpapers are called, like the ones with the woods that kind of go like this. Okay, I use that because they are so detailed, and we have all these kind of used swatches, which I think in wood, especially if it's like supposed to be a wood texture, and you have these like used kind of swatches, they look so realistic in The Sims. Like the Sims team is getting very, very good at those, in my opinion. And I just love that. And I love that those items that kind of look a little bit like lived in, you know, not like brand new. I really love that. And also I use the country kitchen counters because I do love the Cottage Living counters too. Like those two are definitely my favorite kitchen counters, but I think I've said that a bunch of times before, the cottage living counters, they kind of have this weird kind of plasticky look to them, in my opinion. That's why I tend to go more towards the country kitchen ones, because I don't know, they just don't have the right texture. I think they are supposed to be wood, the cottage living ones, but they just don't look like wood. They are much too kind of perfect, and they have this, I don't know, they just don't have any dents or anything, you know, it's just everything very perfect. And for cottage living, I don't know, to me that doesn't really make sense. And also, especially the upper cabinets, they are very like square, and they have these big like edges, and I don't know, I think that just looks, I don't know, it doesn't look real. It just looks like plastic to me anyway. So I don't know, am I the only one? Is anyone else like feeling this way? Let me know. Anyway, I just think the country kitchen counters just look absolutely adorable, and so I tend to use them a lot more. I still love the cottage living ones, don't get me wrong, but just, yeah, I think the country kitchen ones are just kind of perfect, to be honest. And I did use this bench, which I'm pretty sure it's not functional. I did not play test this specific bench. I'm pretty sure they can't access that though, because there's like a cupboard there, or a closet, or whatever that is. And but there are 2 chairs, so they can obviously sit there in the kitchen. And it is only a house for 2 Sims, which I don't know, like I don't know what it is, but I'm just very bad at making like a space, you know, on the inside. I think I'm just not very good at floor plans, and I kind of have a tendency, even if it's like a very big house, like on the outside, to still not find enough room on the inside. I don't know why that is, but I always tend to have that problem. I don't know. I mean, I guess in this situation it makes sense, because we have it's actually like the left side is this converted barn. So there's nothing there. So there's no like living space there. So I guess that makes sense. It's very big on the outside, but we only have the right side of the build to actually live in. So yeah. Okay. This is the office, and I was thinking for the Sims to live here to be very creative. What's new? Yeah, I was kind of thinking that they might be musicians or artists, or just like have a creative career in general. So I just placed a lot of guitars. I placed the keyboard, which, yeah, unfortunately we still don't have an actual piano. We got a new grand piano, which I think it's the 3rd one now, I'm pretty sure. Like, we have 3 grand pianos in the game, and we have no actual piano, which that doesn't make sense to me. Like, why? Why can't we have like a normal, simple piano? Anyway, so I tried to kind of cover up the keyboard with, I think it's a cottage living, like this very like narrow table. Yeah, and it works, like everything works in the office. Yeah, even if it's very small and very narrow, it all works, so they can use everything. So this is the bedroom, and yeah, it's open, so there's no door. So yeah, there would probably have to live a couple there, I guess. I actually really love the bedroom. I love this new wallpaper. I have used it quite a bunch lately. And this bed, it's just so gorgeous. I really love it. And unfortunately, the Sims cannot woohoo in the bed. I don't know why. Like, I really tried everything. I really play tested everything. Everything is fine. Everything works, but they can't woohoo. They can sit on the bed. They can relax on the bed. They can sleep in the bed, but they can't woo. I don't know what that is about. Like, I really don't get it. I really tried everything, but nothing really seemed to work. I tried deleting everything like surrounding the bed, but they just didn't want to. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't bother in the end. I just kept it this way because they can sleep there. Everything's fine. And technically, you know, they can still woohoo in the shower, so you're good there. Yeah, and then I did actually end up using the grand piano, like the new one. Did that probably came with a wedding stuff pack, right? Or what pack is that? Like the wedding kind of pack. And I know it's another grand piano, but it's just beautiful. I mean, it's really like the detailing on the top, it's just stunning. So I really wanted to include that somewhere in this build. Yeah, because they are musicians, and I did actually try to make like some cinematic shots, including this kind of pattern. So yeah, you will see that in the end of this video in the cinematic shots. But yeah, I did have a little bit of fun there. And hey, I'm even showing you the bathroom. So there you go. Yeah, it's a very small bathroom, and you can only access the bathroom through the bedroom. But I figured, you know, normally I don't really like that, but I figured since it kind of has to be a couple living there or just a single sim, so yeah, I figured it's okay, you know. And I mean, if you feel free to always like change up the whole thing, you know, change up the floor plan if you want to download this. My ID is Missy Motion, by the way. It will be up on the gallery. So if you download this, feel free to change like whatever you want. You can delete the whole bathroom, put it somewhere on like the downstairs area, whatever you feel like doing. So go for it. And yeah, I think that's basically kind of it for the interior. Yeah. And now I'm working on the kind of landscaping situation. I didn't really, in the beginning, I didn't really know what to do in terms of actual like landscaping, like the flowers and bushes and that kind of stuff. Well, because normally, and for this kind of build, I would tend to place like massive flower beds on the right and left side of the entrance area, especially on the left side because there's like a big area there. However, in this case, there is this kind of walkthrough in the converted barn, which you cannot use, but still, it would have been quite weird if I would have placed like a big flower bed right in front of it, because then, yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious then that you can't really use it, and then the whole thing wouldn't really had a point anymore. So I decided not to do that. Instead, I placed a lot of ivy on the walls. And by the way, these ivy things with a wood kind of ladder kind of thing, they actually work as a ladder. I just learned, I think, I just recently watched one of Evelyn's videos, and she mentioned that, and she showed that in her video, that I think it only goes for teens. But with a high school pack, we got these things, and then they can actually like open up a window, climb out there. I think it has to be a specific window though. I'm not sure, but I think so. They can climb out the window and climb down these kind of ivy things, and they can sneak out. And then they can climb up again and climb through the window inside the house and sneak back in. And I think that's adorable. I absolutely love that. I'm not a gameplay person. Like, I actually never ever play the game, but I do really appreciate when we get like, yeah, just like stuff like that, animations like that. And yeah, it's just, it really adds to the gameplay. And yeah, I think that's just super cute. And I did end up using the movie theater kind of, what's that called? Like the movie thing that we got, which I think, is it in the outdoors, like the outdoor activity section? I think it might be. I'm not sure though. I did place it outside, which in the end, I kind of thought that doesn't really make sense because there is like technical stuff there too, you know, and if it rains or if there's like any kind of weather, well, it's pretty likely that everything will kind of break. And it might even do that in the Sims game, because we used to have like, I don't know, there's some things that when you place them outside and it rains, they will break, like some technical, like electronic kind of things. So yeah, I don't know about that. I did play test everything. Everything's fine, but I did not like check on weather with the kind of movie screen. So yeah, that might happen. I don't know. You will have to see. And yeah, I mean, in the end, I guess you could just place like a roof on top, maybe like a glass roof. That could be kind of cute, and then it should be protected. Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, it kind of makes sense to put it outside because it's so big, you know. In the interior, if you place it somewhere there, it would have to be like an actual massive room, you know, just to have a movie theater. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is kind of already it for this build. I'm just adding a bunch of lighting on the exterior. I'm also decorating the balconies or like the terrace areas. And yeah, that's it for this build. That's everything I have to say for this. I very much hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please enjoy the cinematic shots in the end. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!
I had the world to give you, baby. I don't even have the time to tell you bedtime stories or to chase away the monsters from your mind. You know I can only give what I have. I'm sorry I was late today. I didn't get to see you dance the waltz, spinning around the living room all dressed up in your mother's clothes. Oh, you know I love her even when we fight. When I get home to you, I just will hold you and love you when you calling my name. Here I am. I have the world to give you, baby. I don't even have the time to tell you bedtime stories or to chase away the monsters from your mind. Oh, you know I can only give what I have. When I get home to you, I just want